Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Famous Team WF 2001. I'm back with a video. I don't want everybody to know. Thanks for the people that are subscribing to me. It's 2011 now, so I have one of my special guests here for the first time on YouTube since I've been on here for 4.5 months, and I'm gonna do some. This is my friend Jeremy here. He's an ECW fan. He was just watching this DVD, and he's gonna tell you a little bit about it. So I'm gonna let him take it away.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Here for my boy, Rapping Rob. Asked me to come on and do, asked me what I thought about the video overall, and I went over and ECW's bloodiest matches, and was actually on the internet last night looking for it, and turns out my boy had it already on the. He had it ready, so he brought it over. We checked it out, and the first match I watched disc 1 so far. The tag team match, Cactus Jack, Mikey Whipwreck against Public Enemy. That was a decent match. It was an older one. I think it's from like '94, '95. Pretty early stuff, and it was a good match. The camera angle was, there's only one camera, classic gutter ECW, you know what I mean? Just no budget for nothing, you know what I mean? Just terrible. Straight up gutter, But that was kind of, what was good about ECW for a while too, you know what I mean? His production quality wasn't that great. It's that gritty film, that raw gutter shit, And first match, it was alright. I mean, like I said, overall it was a decent match. I'm not a big fan of the whole Mikey Whipwreck thing. I mean, Cactus Jack, of course, is just, he's nuts. Anything he does, I like. But the second match, which was a 4-way dance, Terry Funk, Cactus Jack, Shane Douglas, and the Sandman. It was a pretty good lineup there. Pretty sick match, I'd have to say. I mean, there was Funk is just unbelievable, man. The guy is 53 years old. I mean, he's a beast. He just
won his first title too.
Yeah, takes a beating. Yeah, at the end of the first DVD, I mean, you watch this DVD, man. It's, if you've seen ECW's first pay-per-view ever, then you already know what happens at the end of that match. I mean, Funk takes it. I mean, with a little help from Tommy Dreamer, but hey, whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? Sorry about the paper shuffle. I took a little notes. The Kush is fucking with my brain. My memory ain't so good no more.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Hardcore Heaven, the Taipei Death Match, which was the third video. This match is kind of beyond me, really. I mean, it wasn't even a wrestling match. You really couldn't call it a wrestling match. I mean, basically, for those of you guys that don't know what a Taipei Death Match is, it's, they tape their hands, and what they do is they dip the gloves into wet super glue, and while the super glue is still wet, they dip their hands in glass. And the premise of it sounds pretty good, but I mean, these two guys, the Rotten Brothers, they went at each other, Axel and Ian, and Ian really took, he was busted up bad at the end of this. I mean, he was bloody. At the beginning, it was almost Bill Alfonso was the referee, and the first punch, he tries calling the match, and a big melee ensues. Everybody's pissed off, thinking that the match was going to be over, and Public Enemy and Gangstars come out of the back, and it's funny because the New York cops are everywhere in this video, and they jack up New Jack like you wouldn't believe. Like, they got this dude down on the ground, and I mean, arm bar and all that. I mean, these cops were, they were for New Jack got up. He was ready to clock on him. It was funny to me. But yeah, I mean, they came out, and then the match resumed because Bill Alfonso left the building, whatever, So the match ensued. Well, what they called the match. was really just a boxing match with bloody glove, bloody glass gloves. I mean, but for those people that like the whole, just a ton of blood and no skill at all in any of the match, not that the guys don't have skill, they're decent wrestlers, but in that match, I mean, it was just all about the blood and the banner that says, Taipei Death Match, that sells tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it brings in the crowd too when you have ECW.
Right. And a lot of people, that's what they go for ECW.
They were into it because it was hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, but for me, I didn't really get it. It was good, but whatever. I mean,
better.
To each his own. You know what I mean? The next match was a November to Remember '95 match between Psychosis and Rey Mysterio. And me, I got a lot of respect for the whole Lucha Libre type thing, but it's just not my style of wrestling. I just really don't like it. I mean, the whole Hurricane Rana after Hurricane Rana after, I don't know. Just for me personally, it's not my favorite style of match to watch. The smaller guys, the Eddie Guerreros of the world, the Dean Malenkos. I mean, they're good wrestlers, technically fantastic, but just really not my style.
Everybody has certain style of wrestling.
Yeah. I mean,
like someone might not like the hardcore stuff. They rather watch, like WCW. You know what I mean? Like everybody has their own differences.
Absolutely.
But if you actually watch it all, it actually shows you how crazy ECW was back then.
Right.
And they just had crazy wrestlers, and they were like all violent, like Terry Funk, Sabu. Yeah. Like all the high flyers.
It is a wide range of styles. You're absolutely right.
But every night though, ECW they put on a show for you, and people would draw right to it because they did everything that you could that they did for you.
And it was that gutter style, that small building where you're right up close. Half the time the wrestlers are right in the crowd with you, knocking your beer over. You're yelling. I mean, in this DVD, you see a couple of times, you see the fans holding up chairs, and they come by and they smash the head into the chairs. So the fans are into it. And that's what was good about ECW. It was just that raw gutter, back to the Roman style, you know what I mean? Just straight battle,
And because there was a year in 1996, there was a whole bunch of fans that threw like a billion chairs right in the ring, just throwing them like they went all out every single ECW. They just went all out these freaking wrestlers.
Yeah, the
fans were crazy too, man. They would chant ECW every single time.
And you see in a lot of the watching a DVD like this, you'll see, different matches from different eras. But it's funny, you'll see a lot of the same people in the crowd.
Yeah.
The hat guy, the guy with the straw hat who was, front and center in like 3 or 4 of those DVDs. And they're all from different time frames, from 96 to 99. So the people who were really fans were really loyal. And especially in the New England area, up where we live, it was easy to get to ECW live. And it was, me, myself, I only went to 2 ECWs. I should have went to a lot more, to tell you the truth. But
there was a lot of people that came into ECW. I remember when Sid Vicious came into the ECW, and he had a verse, the Dudley Boys. And it was actually pretty shocking to me that that Sid Vicious would come into the ECW. Like, I wasn't really expecting to see something like that as a wrestler like him coming to ECW. And the Dudley Boys were talking so crap about Sid, like, what are you doing here? You think you're better and stuff, because you're in ECW now. And it was just out of control. Like, they would feud all the time against this guy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good thing about ECW. I mean, you know, you never knew who was going to show up. You know what I mean? You have guys, you know, from your Ron Simmonses to, you know, I mean, it was all across the board. You know, like I said, you know, turning guys like Chris Jericho and Dean Malenko, and you know, all these guys that Bischoff claims that he found and that he put on in WCW. You know, really, a lot of them started in ECW. You know what I mean?
Like Stone Cold. Stone Cold was
Right,
in ECW,
yep.
but he didn't last long because he had trouble with that company big time.
He had some good gimmicks going.
He did.
But back to the video here. We kind of went off on a little tangent here, but we'll get back to which was the fourth match, which was actually my favorite match of the whole DVD, the first DVD so far. It was at the ECW Arena in 1996, and it was a four corners match. Chris Jericho, Shane Douglas, Pitbull 2, and Too Cold Scorpio. You know, it was for the TV title, and it was actually a good match. I mean, Jericho, he was kind of sloppy. He fucked up a couple of times. There was one time where he's going for his finishing move there, the lion saw.
The lion saw. I remember that.
And he's going off the ropes, and Too Cold was down on the ground, and Too Cold gets up, and he drop kicks him as he's doing the lion saw. And you know, that totally was not supposed to happen. You could tell the announcers, Joey Styles, tried to play it off like, oh, what an amazing move, what amazing timing. But you can tell that was not supposed to happen, you know. But that was one of the two fuck-ups involving Jericho. He was actually the first one pinned. He was the champion at the time. Yeah. And he was the first one pinned and out of there. So, it's actually kind of happy to see that. I mean, my boy Shane Douglas, man, the dude he's phenomenal, Rob. I mean, this guy, he can work. This guy can flat out work. I mean, I personally, I wasn't a big fan of his until lately, till I really started watching a lot of his matches and a lot of his promos and stuff. And the guy is. He's got it. He does. I mean, in that match he took a lot of the beatings and made a lot of guys look really good in that match. He made Jericho look really good.
He made them like basically stars.
Basically, he's one of those guys, you know, kind of like Humorous there. What was his name in ECW?
Humorous.
I can't think of his name. His name was Humorous in WCW. You guys probably will know it or yelling it, but he's another guy who's just a good worker who takes really good bumps. You know, you know, when you really want a guy to go to the top and you really want him to look good, you put him out there against a guy like him. You know what I mean? A good worker. You know what I mean? Somebody who's a jobber, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I took a couple pages of notes on this one, man. I mean, Jericho and Pitbull, I mean, like I said, Jericho was the first one out. Pitbull, I mean, I was actually fairly surprised. He had a really good match and held his own really well against some of these other guys. And same with Too Cold Scorpio. I mean, I'd heard a lot about him, but I haven't really seen a lot of his matches. I was really pretty impressed with him. For a big guy, he's pretty athletic. I mean, you know, he did a lot of things that really surprised me. But at the end, the franchise ends up winning the title, which was awesome to me. You know what I mean? The whole thing with you know, Francine got a massive power bomb at the end of that one. So that was pretty cool.
Well, this video is these videos only go like 15 minutes on webcam. So, but is there anything else you want to say before?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to come back for a part 2. I mean, I got a little bit more here to say.
Okay, we can do a part 2. This is Famous Team W 2001. We'll be back with part 2, guys. See you later. Bingo.